So this is my new book, Dasher, and it's all about a reindeer, but it's also about a horse that was pulling Santa's sleigh. So when did that change? Life wasn't easy for the reindeer family of J.P. Finnegan's travelling circus and menagerie. They spent long days crammed together under the hot sun as an endless stream of curious people jostled to catch a glimpse of them. You see all the reindeer here, all the people having a look at them. Even at night there was little rest. Some nights to pass the time, Mama would tell stories. It was a magical place, she'd say. The air was crisp and cold, and the ground was always covered with a cool blanket of snow. Your father and I were free to roam under the glow of the North Star. Dasher, there he is, who was the youngest reindeer, loved Mama's stories. Is that the North Star? He used to say. The very same, Mama said. We always knew where we were home when it was directly overhead. I wish we could go there, said Dasher. Mama sighed. I do too. But Mr. Finnegan isn't kind to animals who try to escape. See, they're all there in the pen. They can't get out. Day after day, under the watchful eye of Mr. Finnegan, the reindeer family delighted crowds wherever they went. Dasher liked being with her family, and she loved meeting so many children. They were always kind to her, and sometimes they even fed her with carrots. That was her favourite food. But at night, while the others were sleeping, she would lie awake. She'd gaze at the bright star on the horizon and wish for crispy, cold air and cold blankets of white snow. Oh, what's happening here? One night, mighty winds shook the circus tents and rattled the animals' cages. Dasher was wide awake, wishing on the North Star, when she was startled by a large creak. The gate to their pen had opened. Dasher could hear rustling from inside as Mr. Finnegan came out to see what was going on. She glanced up at the North Star. She looked back at her sleeping family and knew that it might be her only chance. Her heart was pounding. She took a deep breath and then she ran as fast as she could. See her here, travelling over this bridge. On she went for hours with the North Star as her guide. But no matter how far she travelled, it was still way off in the horizon. She thought she'd never get there. There she is. She wondered if she would ever make it. She thought about turning back, but she couldn't remember what the way was, and she didn't know what to do. She looked up at the North Star and made a wish. And just then, she heard something in the distance, a soft jingling in the woods. Look who's here. In a clearing, Dasher saw a man and a horse. I'm sorry, Santa, said the horse. The sleigh is just too heavy this year. The man smiled. Don't you worry, Silver Bell, he said. We'll take the breaks you need. But the children, said the horse, they'll be heartbroken. If we can't deliver all these toys by Christmas morning, what will we do? Children, thought Dasher, and she stepped forward. Here she is. Maybe I could help. You see there, we've got Silver Bell and Father Christmas, and there's Dasher. Hello there, said the man. Dasher walked closer. The man smiled. Have you ever pulled a sleigh? He asked. Dasher shook her head. I've never even seen a sleigh, she said, but I pull a wagon just about every night. Well then, said the man, how would you like to make a whole bunch of children really happy on Christmas morning? I'd like that really very much, said Dasher. You see that picture? There she is. There's Dasher with Silverbell pulling the sleigh. Santa thanked Dasher and attached her harness. It was soft against her fur and its jingling bells made the most beautiful sound she'd ever heard. Santa climbed into his sleigh. Dasher pulled with all her might, and then suddenly the load felt a little lighter. She looked down. She was flying. Look at that. All night, Dasher and Silverbell pulled Santa's sleigh through the air as Santa guided it from rooftop to rooftop, delivering toys to children everywhere. Dasher had never experienced such a thrill, and she ate so many carrots she thought she was going to burst. She was having so much fun, she forgot all about the North Star. At first light of dawn, they landed. The air was crisp and cold, the ground covered with a cool blanket of white snow. Dasher searched for the North Star on the horizon, but she couldn't find it anywhere. Santa smiled. Dasher, look up. And there it was. Can you see just the rays from that star just there? Is that the North Star? She asked. Santa's eyes twinkled. Merry Christmas, he said, and welcome home. See, there it is again. The North Pole was just as wonderful as Mama's stories. Dasher roamed wherever she pleased, and Santa gave her all the carrots she wanted. But something was missing. I love it here, she said to Santa, but I do miss my family. I wish we could be together. Santa smiled. That's your best wish yet, Dasher, he said. Let's go and find them. So late that night, Dasher guided Santa's sleigh all the way to J.P. Finnegan's travelling circus and menagerie. Mama, Papa, Dasher whispered. Everyone, wake up. Mama lifted her head. Dasher, is that really you? It's me, Mama, said Dasher. She told her family all about Santa and Silverbell and how the North Pole was just as amazing as Mama's stories. But I missed you, she said. You were all I wished for. Dasher led her family to Santa's sleigh, and Santa attached their harnesses. You're not going to believe this part, she said. Can you see there? There's Santa and the sleigh being pulled by all of the reindeer. And look, it's snowing. When Christmas Eve arrived, Silverbell watched as Santa prepared his team. Are you sure you don't want to come? Said Dasher. I'm sure, said Silverbell. I know the 8 of you will do a fine job. There we are with the reindeer. Late that night, as Santa and his new team of reindeer soared around the world, he called them by name for the very first time. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. And there they were, finally all together. On Christmas morning, after the toys had been delivered, they flew back to the North Pole, where they lived happily today. There, the air is crisp and cold. The ground is always covered with a cool blanket of white snow. And Dasher has everything she ever wished for. But you say, what about Rudolph? Well, I don't know about Rudolph. He's not in this book, but I'm sure he's got his own book and his own stories. Maybe your teacher can find that to read to you as well. Happy Christmas to everybody.